Welcome, loungers. Welcome back to another episode of the City Lounge. Today's episode is going to be great. If you are new, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you're coming back, welcome. Today's sponsor is by Pinero's Pastries. Check them out on Instagram. Right here, we've got the peanut punch, and then we've got here the rum punch. So when you get an opportunity, check them out on Instagram. I will leave the link down below. All right, guys, stay tuned because this episode is going to be good and you do not want to miss it. Hello, loungers. Welcome. So this is episode 2 where we have Cease on my left and we got Meg on my right. You guys introduce yourselves.
Well, I'll start first because you have to wait for the general. You know what I mean? My name is Cease from FBN Entertainment and also FBN Podcast. Just keep it short. Been in the game for like at least probably 15 years now, so experienced a lot. But I appreciate you inviting me to the season 2, right?
Yeah, season 2, yes. City Lounge. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes. So yes, my name is LA, also known as Megawave. Very very enthusiastic to be here today on the City Lounge with DJ Mary B. So thank you for inviting me onto your platform. If you want to check me out, you can check me on IG, Megawave Sound. Right now, Twitch is the newest and the hottest thing as well. So also Megawave Sound on Twitch. And looking forward to discuss a variety of topics this evening.
Yes.
So you guys follow my friends. We will leave their handles down below. And let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So I'm a female. Mm-hmm. You guys are males. And so I know as women, we want to know certain things from a male's point of view. Yeah. And just generally speaking, all three of us are 3 different people. So we're all going to have 3 different opinions. And so this is what we going to do. So we going to talk about relationships, all these different things. The first question, why do you think relationships aren't lasting as long as our parents? Let's get into it.
Great question.
Yeah.
I'll go. So, when you take a look back at the generation of our parents, right, you're looking at, majority of people, I say probably like baby boomers, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a different time. They're looking at building, right? Like, especially if I think about my parents, being both born in Jamaica, they came to Canada, they're looking to build a life. Things that may be deal breakers for this generation may not have been deal breakers for the generation before us, right? Because they're looking at trying to establish something and grow, right? And they realize that they're coming from, somewhere else to a new place to build something, right? Versus we're here, we have the luxury of all these things, at our disposal.
I like that perspective.
We have a lot of things to stimulate our senses and, capture our attention. Mm-hmm. And, maybe, not to say that, our parents didn't have standards, but I would say like the standards and the things that people are willing to tolerate and accept are a lot different for our generation.
Hit the nail on that one. But I like that perspective. I think, I can understand where you're coming from with that, definitely, because I do feel like back in the day, our parents, in where they're coming from in their culture, it's not the norm to kind of divorce. And I think we said that on our last episode with the girls, right? So up here, they come, they're building with their family, so they're not really looking to, Mm-hmm. And then the tolerating thing is the same thing as too. I feel like our generation, we ain't tolerating.
That's where I was going to jump.
Yeah, we definitely are not tolerating certain things. We're nah, no sir, no ma'am.
The reason why relationships are a little bit different from our parents is social media has definitely taken a lot of control of how our parents, when we had social media, I only had one little Roger cable package, you know what I mean? So I didn't get to see what's going out there unless
dial up,
MSN,
Yeah.
You get those Black Planet, High Five, all them. That was my social media back then, you know what I'm saying? This social media now, it can destroy you. This might destroy me, you never know. You know what I mean? So I just wish I could, the new Gen Z, whatever they want to call them, could understand the raise up that I had, my mom, around most of the time, but my dad was kind of back and forth from Jamaica. So when my dad came, I knew the general's home, you know what I mean? Like, I'm under manners. Nowadays, the new generation, your dad come home, it's just like, hey dad, let's play some PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like, simple things. So it's different now, and I don't know. I feel like it sucks. I feel like the new generation should actually see how the old generation, my generation, was raised. That's it on my end.
Yeah, I feel like even to jump on what you said in terms of social media, I feel like people think that not certain people, but sometimes who you're with, they're replaceable. Like, oh, I could just find another you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people need to realize that just because somebody looks good, it doesn't mean that they're good. You know what I'm saying? We all have our toxic traits. We all come with baggage. We all come with certain things. You know what I mean? So, I think it's just discernment. Like, just you realize and analyze the situation. Is this worth working out, or if it's not worth working out, right?
Yeah.
And then that leads into, like, would you say being raised in a dysfunctional family kind of like hinders or chooses us to causes us to choose horrible romantic partners? What would you say about that?
Yes and no, because the reason why I say yes is when even if your parents are not good, and it's just, that's how it happens, some people don't get along and they separate. It shouldn't. Sometimes people just know, like, I think that, and I'll give credit to the new era, they kind of know, like, that's the thing, and they have their own feelings when it comes to how they feel now. But I don't think with me, like, my family wasn't perfect either, I'm just gonna say it, but I knew right from wrong. I had a mother that kind of showed me, like, respect women, and like even though my situation wasn't cool, I still knew it was
how to navigate in a relationship.
That toxic family relationship, like, you can see it there. It also does have an effect on the child. It depends how they raise their child. Like,
yes.
So there's a pro and cons to that question.
Yes.
So.
Would you say it just depends on the person?
Yeah, I think it could motivate you to try to do better too, right?
Yes.
Like, you can have some people have some unbelievable, upbringings, unbelievable background stories, and then you see them and they're thriving, right? So they could be married, they could be, a devoted wife or husband, have a kids, have a family, they're settled down, they're good to go, right? But if you see where they're coming from, you would say there'd be no way that this person could be operating or functioning like this, right? So it definitely plays a role, your upbringing naturally, the way that you spend your formative years as you're growing up and things like that, it will have impact on your life. The habits that you form while you're growing up is going to have an impact on your life. And like you said, the toxic traits are going to leak out, they're going to spill out in different ways. But I think it kind of just, I think what matters is like, what side are you feeding into? You know what I mean? Because we all have like things that go smoothly, we all have things that go, negatively, right? So are you focusing on the positive aspect or are you focusing on the negative, right? It's just like a car when you're driving. Are you focusing on, the road ahead of you, or are you focusing on the rear view mirror? The rear view mirror is only meant for you to glance 1 or 2 seconds just to make sure that nothing's not going on behind you, right? Versus looking forward and say, okay, well, maybe this bad episode happened, but like, what can I do differently? What can I, do to take control of my situation moving forward, right? So yeah, it'll definitely impact, your ability to choose partners. Yeah. But I think, one thing about choosing a partner that people don't talk about is like spending the time to get to know them.
Yeah, that's big actually.
Before you say that, you're gonna get into a romantic situation or scenario, right?
And even just saying off of what you said, it's making that choice.
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna be like my dysfunctional family, or am I going to make sure that I'm gonna break a generational curse, or I'm gonna choose to show up, choose to be a better person?
Yeah.
So ultimately it's about choice. And I feel like what you said is true, like spending time with people.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this generation spends enough time to get to know their person? Or they kind of just jump in and they're like, oh, all right, let's go. Like, you know what I mean?
What the funny thing is, I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and it was just like they're talking about their how they love this person. I'm like, how do you love this person? It's only been like 3 months. I go, do you know this person's bad side? Like, like you do a full background check. Like, you've gone on more than 10, 20 dates. You know what I mean? Like, tell me something about this guy. Person said he's just a nice guy. So that's garbage.
Why is that garbage? Is that garbage?
It's garbage.
Rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Like, I think for you to actually, sorry, I don't want to go off topic.
No, like we're honestly having just a conversation,
and it's like,
just talking.
when someone tells me that, and I'm just like, Yeah, that's rubbish, man. You're gonna break up. So this new era is like, it's not like where you go out and go date, you're talking, the girl doesn't even say, oh, we're, it's official yet. Like, you're going through probation, like, 3 months of probation, basically. You don't, that's how I look at it, man. You get a job, it's, you're 3 months probation, you have to show that you can put in work.
Yep.
So
before you get the benefits.
Yeah, man.
So, like, what would you say, in your opinion, how long do you think it should take a person to know if this is, not even the one, but like, this is who I want to settle down with?
I say a year.
Yo, honestly, I feel like, I have to jump on this. I feel like you need to know a person through all 4 seasons. How they operate in the summer, winter, summer, spring, fall, and whatever. You need to see how they deal with their family.
Yes.
How they speak to people outside of you. Because people can be nice when they're in front of you.
That's true.
But when we go to dinner in different atmospheres. So if we're going to the library, we're going to the gym, you need to see how they are.
Yeah.
And I feel like can you really fake it for a year, bro?
You can't.
You can't fake it for a year.
Honestly,
your real you's gonna show up.
One thing I've learned is that you have to see their bad side to see if you can handle.
Yes.
You can handle
the negatives.
The negatives, because boy, this new era, you can't. There's a lot of toxic relationships out there, and it's just like, it's good. One thing I can say you learn is you need to understand if you can handle this person even on their bad side, and that's where you make a decision if you want to continue it.
I mean, I feel like I agree with you, and I feel that the foundation should always be friendship.
True.
Just like be friends, get to know each other, do things like as friends, and then you see where that builds off. Because I feel like back in the day when we were younger, we did jump into it. High school, we thought we were gonna be with them forever. Oh, baby daddy. Now baby daddy really is baby daddy. You know what I mean? It didn't work out. But now that we're older, like, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the days, if a man was like a year, I'd be like, nah. I still think maybe 6 to 8 months as a female. But I mean, a year. I mean, hey man.
The reason why I say a year is because me working in the entertainment business, and just I got younger people other than me are dating, and they tell me what they're seeing and what they have been in. You really got to make sure, and I'm not gonna take a jab at with all women. There's certain women out there, like I posted on my story with the 2 bottles. When the girl has the bottle in the picture, we as a man, we already know where that could go. That could just be a short-term, like 3-week conversation and done. So it's kind of like, you have to be very careful of who you're speaking to now, because now, like, you gotta, it's sad to say, like, you see these stuff on people going out for dinner, and they ask the girl, are you gonna split the bill? Like, we're testing. Like, we literally have to test you to see what your chemistry is like, if you actually care. And then some girls are like looking at you like, what? Nah, if you put all these posters on Instagram and say, independent, all right, be independent, cool. But I'm just saying.
You can't ask me to split no bill.
I'm just saying.
You can't ask me to split no bill. If you are taking me out to eat, don't ask me to split no bill.
I get that. That's totally different. We had this conversation. I
feel like a test would be like, if you're dating a girl and you hear her, like, she's holding it down. Right. And you never hear her say, like, oh, my phone got cut off because I can't pay my phone bill. That should be a test, because she's holding her own. She's never once went out work. But you can't ask nobody to split no bills.
No. The dinner thing, let me tell you something.
You doing that?
Listen, here's the one thing, right? I think one thing that we tend to do is we tend to try to keep score in situations, right? I'm not a man that, like, really looks at that. And I'm not saying, like, I have it or, like, I don't have it. All I'm saying is, like, if I, mess with you, then whatever. Let's go to eat. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I was in a Twitch live and a man was like,
I said that.
What happened? They're saying, good girl forget things or something like that. And I see him, I was like, yo, no girl forget no things or whatever. So I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, come on, let's be realistic here. At the end of the day, right? Like, as a man, you're always gonna want to, assert yourself in a certain way, or you should assert yourself in a certain way when it comes to, whether it be going out or gifts or whatever the case may be. Or if you just get like a little piece of chocolate or something, you know what I mean? You're showing an appreciation, or you're showing respect for a woman at the end of the day, right? Because the reality situation is, like you were saying, women hold it down in a lot of different areas that
y'all don't even know. We don't brag about it.
You can't even quantify it. You can't even, like, put a dollar sign beside it. You know what I mean?
You want the Birkin bag?
Yo, first, it's not about the Birkins. It's not about the
Birkin
Birkins.
bag.
But what you need, I feel like you guys need to pay attention to women that hold it down when you're
we
not
do.
even in her life.
We do.
Because when you come to her life, you should just be adding value to what she has.
I'll be
you understand?
honest.
Outside of her good looks.
I gotta say something. I'll be honest.
Go ahead.
That's from like the women that hold it down, and there are some men that are actually scared.
Okay, let's get into
can actually
that.
say
Why
that.
are you guys scared about that? Why is that something that some men are afraid of?
I'm not scared. Just to get that out there.
I know, no, we're not saying you, but I've heard this more than once come from men and women.
can't
What
speak-
is it about women holding it down without a man? What is it that scares them? What would you say? What would you say, LA?
That they're holding. So what do you mean? Like she's able to?
So you meet a woman and she's like functioning, she's flourishing in life. It's like men are just like, nah. I don't want to. I can't be a part
So I
of
don't
that.
think it's necessarily scares. I think some men may be like, maybe I don't have the best of intentions.
Yeah.
So maybe I may want
Okay.
to. I don't want to disrupt her flow and disturb her thing that she has going on. So let me just fall back to the side. You know what I mean? Because maybe you're not the man at that moment in time
For that person.
to connect with that person
Yes.
based on where they're at, right?
Never be afraid.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, to me that doesn't really make, like, me personally at least. If you find
So for-
someone that likes you and you like back, like, you shouldn't be intimidated by whatever level of quote unquote achievement or success that they're at right now, right? Like you should, like you said, want to partner together with them
Yeah,
and build
uplift
and go from there, right?
Yeah.
I think independent women or women that hold it down, if they're scaring I wouldn't even say it's a man. That has to be a boy, because no man, like you said, unless it's a man that doesn't want to come and interrupt her thing. But like I feel like a real man would be like, yo, let me add to that, or like because those kind of women are the women that you may want to partner with, because it's like, if I feel like even as a man, like if I meet a man today or tomorrow and he's holding it down without a woman in his life, that shows me that like, okay, like you're not doing it for the validation, you're not doing it for applause, you can really hold down your own without me, then cool, let's do it. That's how women look at it.
You know, the thing is, I have a lot of people I know that are independent fathers, and they work their ass off. But it's like, it was like funny not funny. It was like, I seen a guy that posted on his video, like, all he just wanted to do was just spend time with his daughter. I don't know what his situation was, but I feel like there's a lot of men that are in that situation where they, they pay their child support, they're there to do their thing, but it's sometimes I just feel like they're not, they just get bagged on. Like I know people personally that are really good people and they work hard, but it's just that situation there is just always like, when they try to date someone new, it comes off like, oh, you have baggage, or like, oh, that's all you do. Like, they don't know, like, between another guy, like, there's guys at work, guys in construction, like, they don't get credit for it, and then they just get bagged on just because they have kids, and they're just really trying to start a family. Like, I know people that have different, like, they have a wife, they're married, and they still have their kids there, so it can work. It's just the mindset has to change now. You know what I mean? Like, people just can't be just dogging dudes for that.
And it depends on the person, because I personally feel, I was watching something, I personally feel it's easier for a man to have a child and get into a new relationship than a woman to have a child and get into a relationship.
But why though? Why?
I feel like because when it comes to the man, they have the freedom to kind of like be a father, but also do other things. And I also feel like as women, we're more accepting that, okay, you have a child previous me, we're more accepting. Whereas some men, they don't accept women that have maybe two or even one or more child, because they feel like they don't want to have to deal with the father being involved, or I feel like that personally.
So do you think that also that there could be situations where maybe the mother may not necessarily be ready to get into another committed relationship or a long-term relationship too?
Yes,
given
yes.
the experience or whatever past that they went.
Yes. That's another thing too. A lot of women that have a child, when we're dating, because I'm a mother and have a son, we're not gonna just jump and date anybody. We're very selective of who we bring around our child, right? So there's that aspect as well too. Guys, I mean, I feel like guys are the same. I don't know, like with guys that have kids, like you guys don't just bring them around any and anybody.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you have to protect the family, right? So you have to kind of think about, like, a lot of times, you don't realize, like, yes, I'm a father too, right? And kids are very observant, so they see everything, and they're very smart, and they can pick up on things like that, right?
Yeah.
So you want to try to do what you can, you know what I mean, to ease the discomfort, right? Because we talked about, the whole dysfunctional aspect and things like that. So those have, impact on kids too, right?
They do. Kids, they see, they they pay attention.
Yeah.
So you don't want people in and out of your kids' lives. You know what I mean?
I can speak from I have no kids. But just to say it. But I can speak from like trying to date someone that has a child. And
how's that experience for you?
Honestly, it's not bad, because honestly it gets you ready as a man to if you want to be with that person and have a child, you know that you're already building a relationship with someone that's going to be around you, and you're going to be a father to them. Like you can't step over the, you know what I mean? Yeah,
you don't want to cross that boundary.
But you want to make sure that you have a great relationship and friendship, and try to understand how he's seeing things and how he's understanding things. I don't look at it as negative. Like, I've been in relationships where a girl has a child, and it doesn't bother me because I'm good with kids. You know what I mean? If a kid doesn't like me, I can find certain ways to try to get that child's attention. You know what I mean? So if you're up for it, then go and do it. Like, I never knock any woman that has a child. Like, it's an amazing thing.
I like to hear that.
You learn a lot, actually, and it actually prepares you to, if you want to make that next step, like moving in and stuff like that. So I gotta say, it's not bad.
It's not bad. And what about you, LA? Like, have you dated while having your kids? Because we both have kids.
I've never dated somebody who had kids before or been exposed to anything like that. If I had, if I'm trying to think or remember, it might have been like.
Or somebody dating you because you have your kids. How was that experience? Or we have to get into that.
Well,
I know, because this is.
Well.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
So, like I said, like at the end of the day, like you want to make sure that you have boundaries in place where, you're the adult, right? So you should take the high road in every single situation in case at the end of the day, right? So you don't want to be making things uncomfortable for, the children or, whoever else is involved, whether it be your ex or whatever the case may be, is right. So it's just being mindful of that type of thing, trying to do what you can. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to control everything. There's gonna be certain things that, you know what I mean, are gonna create issues or create problems, and that's whatever. That's humans, right? We deal with drama, right?
Yeah.
It's a drama-filled world, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
It's just like, once again, how you approach it and how you try to massage it in. You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree.
Massage it.
Sorry, I had to say that.
Okay, so jumping onto that, what would you say? What type of partner does one need to be successful?
Honestly, I'm gonna answer that one.
Yes. What would you say?
She just has to respect my hustle. Know that I'm motivated. You know what I mean? Like, don't take me for an idiot. Basically, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I just know when somebody watching this, I'm gonna get that response. But anyways, I don't care. But yes, honestly, she just has to be like, have a great relationship. Just make sure you're motivated. Make sure that you have goals. Even with your partner, just make sure you're a team player. You know what I mean? Like, just don't think that it's just about you in the relationship. Also, make sure that you understand the person's goals and see if it matches to yours before you get serious. But those are things that, to make a relationship actually last. And I feel like people need to have a sense of humor.
I feel like having a sense of humor is an underrated love language.
Yeah, like, honestly.
Like, seriously, like, you want to be with somebody that you can laugh and kiki with.
Like, I get it. I get it when women, like, guy slides in the DM. Yeah, he has to go through the how you doing, where you from, tell me about, you gotta go through all those questions first. But then when those questions, those interrogation questions are done, so call it interrogation, because that's what it is. You have to go through that process. Then you gotta see if the person has a sense of humor. You know what I mean? For me, if I'm talking to a female, I go through location. Okay, if you're not in Brampton, I don't care. I had to say
that is OT. Brampton is OT.
Like, the borderline. It's too far. That's a gas. That's a gas. I don't care. It's a gas.
Saga and Brampton is OT.
Yeah, drive out there, man. Anyways, if you gotta go through all those questions just to make sure that this person's right. But then the second part, I think, is you gotta see if you can crack a joke with a person. Like, you know, like, is this funny to you? Now, I throw up gifs all the time. GIFs are kind of like the conversation, the icebreaker. When a man sends you a funny GIF with what's the African dude sitting on the couch like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to send those type of things to see if she's gonna laugh. And if she laughs, or instead of saying, what? Then you know you scored. You scored, and then you know, like, there's certain things you need to do. That's all I gotta say about to make the relationship successful and make sure that you guys can last long.
All right, ladies. So you hear that? Cease. He wants a woman that has a sense of humor. So if you do, slide in the DMs.
Whoa.
Oh no, I'm sorry. They're not gonna slide in. We don't pursue men. Sorry. Just leave a comment. You know, a little eye wink. Let him know that you know. What about you, LA? What about you? What
type of partner does one need to be successful? So I think they would need someone who seeks to understand. So what do I mean by that? Instead of jumping, I don't want to say jumping to a conclusion, but instead of arriving at a conclusion, right? You want to do some due diligence, ask some questions, and make sure you fully understand what's going on before you take your next steps and move on from there, right? So seek it to understand. So what does seek it to understand look like? So it's, you know, someone who's listening, right?
Comprehending?
Right, someone who's also empathetic too, right? Because you have to think of it like this. If you're in a relationship with somebody and you reveal something to somebody, like if you say something to somebody, once it's out there, right? With communication, once you put it out there, you can't take it back.
You can't take it back.
Facts.
If you're in a situation where, you know, someone feels comfortable enough to reveal something to you or say something to you, you have to just accept it for what it is in the moment and then let it go. Because if you keep allowing it to linger and come back, then you're never gonna get past it. So I see why people have such difficulty opening up to their partners and having conversations with them, because once again, once you say something, it sticks. So maybe here's what you might want to do. Maybe you might want to go seek some counseling. You know what I mean? Maybe you might want to go talk to somebody that, you know, you don't have to go sit down and have dinner with, or you don't have to go sleep with them at night. You know what I mean? So that way,
talk to the lady.
Just get it all out. Boom, boom, boom. All right, door closed. All right. You know what I mean? So listening, seeking to understand, I think that's something that you need to be successful. I think, you know, also, you know, in terms of success of a relationship, you have to determine what does success look like. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, you know, we get caught up in, okay, well, you know, I'm a certain age, I need to have this, or I need to have that, or da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't value those same things the way that you do, then it's gonna be, you know, a challenge for you guys to progress and move forward, right? So you have to kind of sit down and say, okay, what does success look like? What do we want? What's our goals? What are we striving towards, right? And you gotta keep working on it at the end of the day, right? Like, you can't just put in the work on Monday and then Friday comes and you're like, oh yeah, you know, it's good. It's Good Friday. You know? I make that butter and cheese and done. You know what I mean? No, that's not how it works. Like, a relationship is ongoing work. It's a cycle, right? And there's gonna be highs and lows, just like a roller coaster, just like Wonderland.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes, I don't go on it.
Relationships are very hard. I mean, it's a lot. So I commend those people that are in relationships, that are sticking it out, that are working through it. I think the most important thing being in a relationship is that the both of you guys want it.
Especially during COVID.
You both need to. Yeah, COVID was a lot of tests for people in relationships. So
not only the COVID test, but it was a real relationship.
It was a real test, yo.
If you thought them digging up that piece of cotton swab in their nose was uncomfortable, then take a look at your relationship. But you guys really got tested throughout this whole pandemic, right?
I think some people just didn't realize who they were laying beside or living with. You know what I mean? There was a lot of divorces, and to be positive, there's a lot of engagements. Because people were able to sit down and be like, yo, I can really do this. Like, if we go through a pandemic.
Don't forget the breeding.
Oh, COVID, baby.
I saw some breaking news. So I don't know, man. I was scrolling through my Instagram and I was saying, what? She pregnant? Send.
Oh God. I would have to say for me, for that answer is definitely, like, you guys both had really good point of views. Ultimately, it's just I think what people should do is have those early conversations in terms of, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know what I mean? Do they align with the person that you're talking to? And then also too, you want to make sure that people are doing exactly what they're saying. So say what you mean and mean what you say. You have to pay attention to people's actions. You know what I mean? And I feel like that could determine a successful relationship. I mean, like I said, I always tell people this. I am speaking because I'm single. When I'm going to be thoroughly different, I don't know. But, you know, for me, I just like to put out there, you know, how I would want things to work. So, good answer, guys.
You hear that?
Cease. I can only speak from a single point of view. Because I know sometimes people are in relationships and they're like, look at this girl. She in a relationship and she out here talking. She's saying all these things. Does this girl know how hard it is? Trust me, guys, I know it's hard. Like, I know it's hard.
Well, that's the thing, right? You have to give a disclaimer nowadays, right? So number one, I'm not a relationship counselor, all right?
Same here. Same.
I'm not an expert, I'm not a guru. I am not Derek Jackson, all right? I'm just a man with an opinion. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment purposes.
I can't run from that karma.
Yo, let me tell you something. Yo, Derek Chan, she brought his name up, so let's just speak about it real quick and fast. Yo, can I just say, from this man came out, I knew he was a clown. I knew the man.